The form Tyson video, and in this video we'll talk about the Salesforce trigger basics in a page break. So what does that mean? Once you've got your page break, you can go on settings. You've got something called Salesforce trigger. So this will trigger first time you'll visit the page, from previous, next, and time. So we'll go through each one of these and I'll give you a great example on how they work. So again, all I've done is set up two pages. That's page one, this is page two. And what we're going to do is create a table in each one. And because this will be the best way to demonstrate what I'm doing. So here we go. This is our table. And what we'll do is we'll get rid of this. Add one more. We'll call it first name, last name. And we'll do the same here. We'll create another table in here. If you're confused at the moment, don't worry. Everything will come to understanding once I've done everything here. First name, last name. Okay, and I'm just going to check show filter so it's easier for me to search on all the records as well. Okay, first thing what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and map fields. So we're going to say I'm going to bring back all my contacts, but I'm going to use it in a custom /button action. Then I'm going to say bring all, but only bring the first 200. Set condition if my contact ID is not empty. Cool. And then we just simply go ahead and map the field. So we'll say first name is first name and last name is last name. Apply. And I'm just going to add a comment. This get is for page 1. Okay, so done. So what we're now going to do is, remember we said we're going to run it in a custom action. So we'll click the page break, go into settings, advanced, and we'll say run this trigger first time I visit this page. So if you click set, and then we'll select our contact, we'll say add, apply, save. And if you look, if I preview this now, it's going to run it the first time I visit. However, if I go to the next page and I come back, it's not going to bother running it at all because it's already run it first time. How do we demonstrate that? Well, let me show you. So on my page 2, I'm going to go ahead and map stuff here as well. So on page 2, we'll do the same thing like we did. We're going to get all our contacts just like we did here. In fact, I can just duplicate this and say page 2. And then we're only mapping the field for the other table. Yeah, so we'll go first name, last name, apply. 200, perfect, perfect, and perfect, done. So let's just say on this table, we'll say allow edit, allow inline editing, and we make both of these fields editable. We'll do the same here. We'll say allow edit, configure, make both of these editable, apply, and then we'll say allow inline editing. Same here. Okay. So what we said here was that every time I set a Salesforce action, so let me set a Salesforce action here as well, which is going to run our second get, and then we'll say this for page 2. Okay, so if I go back in here, remember we said this will run the first time and this will run every time. And now if I go back, so for example, let's just say I've got Joe Blogs here and I edit this person to say 1, 2, 3. It's saving it there, but if I go back and search for Joe Blogs again, it hasn't run anything here, so it doesn't know. So only if I now edit this and just quickly update, and then if I type in Joe or refresh it, it will be able to pick it up. And that's the point of running the trigger the first time. That it says I'm going to run that action only the first time. So very, very easy to understand. What is from previous or back? So in this one, what we'll do is, actually no, the next one I want to talk about is every time. So if I save this and go into a preview, it will run it every time. So let's search for Joe Blogs. Joe is there. It will say it will run it every time as well. Now if I go Joe and I change this to Joe Blogs 1, 2, 3, it's saved in there. And now if I go back, as we said, it's going to run every time. It's already run it. So if I go Joe, you can see it's updated it correctly. That's the point of running the trigger every time. Next one we'll talk about is from next. So what this means is that if I've come from the next page, then this trigger will run. Otherwise, it won't run. So, for example, if I go into a preview, it's going to load it, but if I go next, and then I go Joe Blogs and I get rid of the 1, 2, 3, save it, and I go back, it's going to know that I've come from the next page, so it's going to run its trigger here. So as you can see, now Joe has been updated. The 1, 2, 3 has gone. And that's the point of from next. What does from previous mean? And this actually means the back button here, when you come from the back. So just like in here, we said, run this when you come from the next. This means run this when you come from the back. So if I've come from here, this will run this trigger. So we'll just say from previous. Very simple. So now look what happens. We're going to preview. This is my first page. And I'm going to do Joe Blogs 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4. Oops, 1 second. And then if I go to next, which is a back, now it knows I've come from the back, and I've done Joe, you can see it's updated it. So that's the point of a Salesforce page break, that you can run custom actions, and I've set custom actions here per page, and you can run these actions and define them when they need to be run. So in a page break, you can say that, you can set it to run every time, or you can say when you come from the next page, then I'm going to run it. In here, you can say only run it when I've come from the back page, which is the previous page, or run it the first time I visit that page. Really makes it easy. And the reason why these are there is because these triggers will work, and they can really make the overall flow of the form faster. Because what's special about the multi-page form is that all the pages data will only need to be loaded one page at a time anyway. The users can only view one page at a time. So it's really important to use these triggers only when the user needs to be on that page. And that will make the page faster, because you don't want 10 pages executing for no reason. You only want to execute them when the user actually goes onto that specific page. So that's how you do it. That's how you set up the different triggers in a page break within the page break element. Thank you for watching this video.